today's reporting on Texas public education has increasingly become a narrow overplay of what we already know. Rather than solely recycling stories about the somber trends of Latinos, a question that everyone should be publicly engaged in is, how are leaders, such as yourselves, in the state of Texas going to respond to this demographic shift? Senator.
Well, I think since we just came fresh from the education panel, and I think they put the numbers in place. Joey, I think you went through them. We're over 50%, I think 52% of the school population. We're here. We need to first, I think, make sure that we make no changes on the tuition for our college students, regardless of immigration status. We're going to make sure that we protect and that they don't make any change in being able to provide a public education for all our children. And I think we need to just remember, as Joey said, and I'm going to borrow your words, we're here. We're here to stay. Education is our issue, and we should be at the table at all levels to make sure that it continues to be a priority for the state, and we must remember that it's really about our children.
Absolutely. And we are not a sleeping giant.
We're not a sleeping giant. We're already here. And we ain't going anywhere. We're here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think Senator, really hit the touchstone of it, but I think when you boil it all down, it comes to two things. I mean, words matter and demographics. At the time Texas grew over the course of a decade, everybody talks about the 4 million growth and the 89% of that growth being minority, 65% of that growth being Latino. But what people often overlook is the fact that in that same decade, there were 1 million children under the age of 18 born or brought to the state of Texas. 95% Latino. 95% of 1 million children. That tells me, demographically speaking, that this is something that we can no longer ignore, and numbers matter, data matters, but so do words. And I know that this is an event for everybody, and I don't want to be a partisan. I don't want to make this a partisan issue. Everybody knows that I'm a Democrat. Everybody knows that I'm a Mexican, except for a conservative blog out there, but we'll talk about that later.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes. I remind him that Ferdinand was the king of Spain, but nobody understands that. So, but here's the thing. One party in this state has in its platform that they are opposed to pre-K education in the state of Texas. 65% of the pre-K population is Hispanic in this state. And so how do you reconcile the growing number of Latinos in this state, growing by the day, and yet a party who's very proud to say that we want to deny pre-K for that very demographic, and yet also campaign proudly on, if elected, we're going to take away an opportunity for people who have come to this state through no fault of their own and not allow them to go to college and pay reasonable tuition rates or not as high as they would pay otherwise.
Sure. Yes, Senator Rith.
Thank you. I would just add to what's already been said that, the three of us up here are all attorneys. We would not be up here today but for education. It's simple. We wouldn't be attorneys, of course, but we wouldn't be up here talking to all of y'all. And what Representative Martinez-Fisher said is so important. I was a product of pre-K when I was a younger child. We lived in California, and it changes your whole life. I mean, the 4-year-old being able to go to school and learning how to read and learning how to write just puts them years ahead of other students. And so it just doesn't make any sense why they would want to do that. But that's our role, that's our job then, is to stand up. Most of y'all are probably have gone to college and have a degree, perhaps not all of you, but it's our job and our responsibility now to take that torch and to run with it and not stop running.
Excellent. Thank you.